tell me where to go, God. Out the four walls, tell me where to go, God. I be in the hood, baby, I'm trap fishing. I practice what I preach daily, they all listen. Out the four walls, tell me where to go, God. Out the four walls, tell me where to go, God.
Tell me where to go, you just point and let me know. I'ma walk about these four walls and go collect these souls. I'm a servant for the kingdom, you ain't heard about this freedom. Man, come get you some of this Holy Father, no doubt about it, you need them. I was chasing dollar bills, yes I had a lot of thrills. I know how the top feels, but lil' homie, God is real. When it ain't no one to call on and your homies disappear, and you sitting in that cell alone facing 20 years, you gon' think about them choices that you made when you was younger. Wondering where your life went wrong, can you blame it on your mother? And you never knew your dad to show you how to be a man. Let the streets brainwash you, had you thugging for a bag. What about your son? Look what you just done. It's a generation curse, he gon' pick up a gun. I pray it ends right here in the name of King Jesus. Gotta stand firm, better get up in Ephesians.
I be in the hood, baby, I'm trap fishing. I practice what I preach daily, they all listen. Out the four walls, tell me where to go, God. Out the four walls, tell me where to go, God. I be in the hood, baby, I'm trap fishing. I practice what I preach daily, they all listen. Out the four walls, tell me where to go, God. Out the four walls, tell me where to go, God.
Out the four walls, square box. The devil got me twisted, hair locks. Tryna run up on KG, he dare not off balance. Got him leaning back and forth like when a chair rocks. We be in them streets tryna reach souls. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, three amigos. All that faking for the gospel, he see those. You can't run game on God, boy, he knows. That's why I go a hundo for the head honcho. The Holy Spirit inside of me, Espiritu Santo. We hit the block to show them the real rock. Not that cocaine or steaming inside of that steel pot. That's a lie from the op, cause Jesus is on top. The devil is on the bottom, portraying something he's not. I was blind, now I got a clear view. Catch me in the trap fishing in the hood near you.
I be in the hood, baby, I'm trap fishing. I practice what I preach daily, they all listen. Out the four walls, tell me where to go, God.
What's good tonight, Plato? How you doing, folks? W number back in the building, getting it pumping. We got a Foxy Knoxy on the plate for tonight. Let me fix this camera real quick. Stay with you guys, all right? Boom. Got it. Hold up. All right, bro. I got crazy information, bro, on Amanda Knox. The anniversary of her crime is coming up December 4th. So it kind of just, made me remember what happened with her and everything that went on. And it just seems crazy to me that this happened 15 years ago. It doesn't seem like it, right? 15 years? It's a long time ago. It doesn't seem that long ago, but she's older now. Bride guy, what up, bro? Low red eyes, bride guy, Bill Green, mama, how you guys doing tonight? So Amanda Knox, dude, right? She did a few interviews recently. Can you guys hear me good? Everything good? So I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. I'm gonna go over the events that happened. I'm gonna share the screen, read you the Google stuff. She's been sharing shit to Twitter recently, to Instagram. She's a media mogul. She's on social media all the time. Every platform, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. She's on different podcasts, crime casts, and she's been talking a lot of crap about, different podcasts and crime casts lately too. So she murdered somebody or alleged. So sorry, let me go back in time. She allegedly was involved in a murder in Italy while she was a student in one of the schools over there. I forget what they call them, like an exchange student, a foreign exchange student. She was over there. She was living with a roommate. It was another girl who was supposedly her girlfriend. She was in love with her. That girl was sleeping around with all these different guys. Allegedly, she wasn't all the way a lesbian. She wasn't faithful to Amanda. Amanda was allegedly jealous and killed him. But what ended up coming out was they found the guy who actually really killed him. There was no evidence tying Amanda Knox to the case. And Amanda walked. Now she's back in America. 16 years go by from the actual time the crime got committed, and now they're sending her back to Italy to face charges for slander. So she's back in an Italian court now for slander, and I just can't even believe. So even all right, my fault. I'm eating candy. So the prosecutor from her case, dude, right? She became friends with this guy. So she beats the case, comes back to America, and Foxy Knoxy's got her little hands in the cookie jar, dude, over there, right? So she's friends with the DA. What would be the DA in America is the prosecutor in Italy. It's a prosecutor over here too. It's just we have common slang that we call the DA. You know what I mean? So district attorney, prosecutor, the person who sends you to jail for bullshit, that guy, right? So this girl becomes friends with her own prosecutor who she beat the case with, right? It kind of seems a little fishy to me, right? So she's cozy with this dude. Was she cozy with him during the case? Like, how did they get to know each other? This is all in this interview here that I'm gonna play for us and stuff. So it gets a little twisty, you know what I mean? Like the road's not straight and narrow, but it's all in good content, really. You know what I mean? I just think it's the gossip of the century, bro. This girl, she's hot. I mean, technically, I mean, allegedly hot, right? I don't personally think that she's the best looking girl ever, but everybody calls her Foxy Knoxy. She's a young, good looking girl that catches a murder case over there as a young foreign exchange student in some lover's twist. And you know, now she beats the case. She's over here. She's going back to court for slander, right? But she's got all these different little things that happen along the way. Let's go over here, and I'm going to share the screen, okay? Hold on. Boom. So Amanda Knox reveals a 3-year-old is asking questions about her time in prison, right? But that's not even close to everything, right? Let's look it over. So Amanda Knox revealed that her young daughter has already begun quizzing her about her time in Italian prison after her wrongful conviction of brutally murdering her college roommate, Meredith Kircher. My daughter is 3 now, and she's just getting to the point where she's asking questions because, you know, my past is not a hidden thing, and occasionally it comes up. Knox is 37, said while discussing true crime television with Reason TV journalist Billy Brinton on Thursday, right? I got that interview. She goes in. She's, you know, they're going to charge her for some of the things she's been saying on these podcasts and things, right? So, and that's one of the things I'm going to play. I'm going to play it tonight. We'll watch it, talk shit, and we'll just kick it and talk shit about Amanda Knox, right? I mean, technically, I think, right, if you slide on a murder, you have a second life. You have a shot at life. You basically, you know, you got lucky because even innocent people get hit with life sentences all the time. So she's got a second chance, and you know, now she's got to fucking make it worth it, bro. And she's going to use that story as a way to make money. She just came out with a book called Free. And so she wrote a book. That's going to be a bestseller. Guaranteed fact. She's one of the biggest names in the media, right? Like in the anniversary of her book, her crimes coming up. It's just going to be a big seller. And it's available right now in the media. So she likes it when I tell her a story. So she'll be like, tell me a story about Bluey. Tell me a story about the Little Mermaid. She's talking to her daughter. This is in quotes, right? I think you guys can see it, right? Sometimes she asked me to tell the story of Mama going to Italy. Don't tell her that story, bro. Oh, man, a little freaky. She's a little freak. You know what they're saying that, dude? She's a freak. Saying, bro, she really is. She's a freak. She's with a girl, having threesomes and doing whatever this other girl said, bro. She's a little freak. Sometimes she asked me to tell the story of Mama going to Italy. She continued her 4 years behind bars. This is her right here. That's the thumbnail picture. That's her and her daughter. She's pregnant again, by the way. Pregnant again. This is a little clip of her. I'm going to play it real quick. Oh, wait. That's it. I'm going to play that in a second because I have that. I just have to say, well, Mama went to Italy and something really, really bad happened. Someone hurt her friend and then Mama was hurt too, she said. And my daughter says, why? And I'm like, I don't know. Knox, now a mother of 2, said she feels utterly exploited by true crime. Even though she's written a memoir, helped make a Netflix documentary, and is now co-producing an 8-part series for Hulu, said she was never a true crime fan until she became the subject of a true crime phenomenon. A phenomenon, eh? It is a phenomenon. She's a phenomenon. I mean, the Seattle native said she's troubled that the worst experiences of people's lives are not just in the public interest or are talked about for the sake of, journalistic integrity. It's entertainment, and so often the people who have the most at stake in it, whether and how those stories are told, have absolutely no say about it. She said she agreed to the Netflix documentary only after the directors told her that the show would only be made if she spoke to them. I don't understand why she would agree to it after they said that. If she didn't want a part of it, she could have just nixed it by not talking to him, right? So she is co-producing her new Hulu series, Blue Moon, which she recognizes is an extremely privileged and rare position of being a subject who has a say. And I'm taking that very seriously, and I'm really proud of the work we're doing. So she's basically trying to clear her name, you know what I mean? As she should. If she's really innocent, and she gets a chance to now put her voice in the mix. Knox has remained in the public eye since she and then boyfriend Raffaello Celicito were arrested for killing Kircher, Knox's 21-year-old British roommate, who was fatally stabbed 47 times in the town of Perugia in November 2007. So that's the case, and that's who ended up getting killed, right? I'll read that again for people who didn't really hear it. Knox has remained in the public eye since she and then boyfriend Raffaello Celicito were arrested for killing Kircher, Knox's 21-year-old British roommate. That's wrong. She was with that roommate. That was her girlfriend. She said she was in love with him, her, and that the dude was someone that her girlfriend was hooking up with, and she just felt compelled to be in that threesome situation, right? Kircher, 21-year-old British roommate who was fatally stabbed 47 times in the town of Perugia in November 2007. The murder made international headlines, as did the legal. That's the memorial, or the what is it called? I forget what that's called when they put the candles and all that shit. This is what they did for that girl. That's the girl's picture right there. She was pretty, really pretty. Knox was convicted of slaying Kircher despite a lack of evidence and a coerced confession. She served 4 years in prison before she was freed in October 2011 after an appeals court overturned the initial guilty verdict in the murder case. She and Solicito were indefinitely exonerated by Italy's highest court in 2015 after 2 more verdict flip-flops. This summer, Knox was reconvicted of slander for falsely accusing her boss, Congolese bar owner Patrick Lumumba, of killing Kircher years ago. So she threw around accusations when this shit happened about her boss being the one who killed the girl. And now he sued her, and over there, I guess, has criminal implications. I don't know, but I'm going to click on that link and we'll go check that out. Hold on. She was sentenced to 3 years in prison in June. So she was going to do 3 years for that slander in June, but was not subject to any additional jail time because it counts as time already served. Let me click that link real quick. Let's go see what that has to do. And then I'm going to go check comments out, and we'll get to that little video and shit. All right. Amanda Knox sobs that she's convicted of slander in Italy. All right, this is a video. Hold on. Let me play it back real quick. Boom.
Gli si sposti allargano, noi ci allarghiamo anche noi. Ah, ok. Fermi, ragazzi.
Fate passare,
Oh, visual. Yeah, you're right. All right, Bill Green. Yeah, visual. That's what it is. I was actually going to read something about karma. I'm going to read it anyways. I'm going to read this verse I got about karma. It's crazy.
Ow, it's 57 degrees in Mary J.
Little clip. That was Amanda Knox crying as she went in for the thing. This is a picture of her. Amanda Knox wiped away tears. She returned to an Italian court Wednesday, where she was then reconvicted of slander after years of being exonerated in 2007 slaying of her British roommate. Knox was visibly upset as she was swarmed arriving at the Florence court, only her second time back in Italy since she was freed in 2011. She was then sentenced to 3 years in prison for wrongly accusing an innocent bar owner of killing her 21-year-old roommate, Meredith Kircher, as she sought to clear her own name in the shocking murder case. That's her crying. She's the girl at the end of the day. She's just a girl going to jail. Despite the sentence, the now 36-year-old won't serve any more jail time because it counts as time already served. Despite wiping away tears, she arrived at the courthouse. Knox showed no visible emotion as the verdict was read aloud. Amanda is very upset, said one of her lawyers. Yeah, she's upset. All right, this is the girl. This is her. That's the girl that was killed right there. Meredith Kircher. She was pretty. That was her when it happened. This is her attorney. Oh, this is the guy, the person that she allegedly slandered. This guy right here, black dude. That's Foxy Knoxy in her prime right there, dude. What followed was an 8-year legal roller coaster that resulted in multiple flip-flop verdicts after Knox was convicted of both murder and slander. After serving 4 years for Kircher's slaying, Knox was cut loose from prison in October 2011 after an appeals court overturned the initial guilty verdict in the murder case. Knox remained in the U.S. through 2 more flip-flop verdicts before Italy's highest court definitively exonerated her in Celestino on the murder of 2015. Then last fall, Italy's highest court tossed the slander conviction that had withstood 5 trials after finding Knox's human rights had been violated during a long night of questioning days after Kircher's murder because, in part, she'd been deprived of both a lawyer and a competent translator. Knox had earlier accused Italian cops of threats and violence during the questioning. The police threatened me with 30 years in prison. An officer slapped me 3 times saying, "Remember, remember." She told the court on Wednesday saying that police wanted her to blame Lumumba. "I'm very sorry that I wasn't strong enough to withstand the pressure from the police," she added. During the latest trial, which marked the last outstanding case against Knox, the court had been ordered to disregard 2 damaging statements typed by police and signed by Knox at 1:45 a.m. and 5:45 a.m. as she was held for questioning overnight on November 6, 2007. That's hours and hours apart. She was questioned for mad long. In the statements, Knox said she remembered hearing Kircher scream and pointed to Lumumba for the killing. Hours later, still in custody at about 1 p.m., she asked for a pen and paper and wrote her own statement in English, questioning the version that she had signed. "In regards to this confession that I made last night, I want to make clear that I'm very doubtful of the verity of my statements." That means the honesty of my statements, because they were made under the pressure of stress, shock, and extreme exhaustion. That's correctness. Lumumba was ultimately held for 2 weeks in 2007 before he was freed. Wow, they so actually arrested this dude. I'd be pissed too, but you know what? It's like bridge under the water, right? Or water under the bridge. Rudy Guade, originally from the Ivory Coast, was ultimately sentenced to 16 years in jail for Kircher's killing. Imagine that, 16 years, bro, in jail. So we get an idea what happened there. All right, I'm back to the thing, bro. What's going on tonight, guys? How we doing, man? You know what I'm gonna do, bro? You know, since you mentioned karma, bro, right? Because karma's a bitch. Karma's a real motherfucking thing, dude. And there's nothing that protects you from it. Like, if you got karma coming, it's coming. You know what I mean? There's nothing you could do to get rid of it. I think that the only thing you probably could do is pray, bro. But it says, "Meanwhile, the Lord instructed one of the group of prophets to say, 'Another man hit me.' But the man refused to hit the prophet. Then the prophet told him, 'Because you have not obeyed the voice of the Lord, a lion will kill you as soon as you leave me.' And when he had gone, a lion did attack and kill him. Then the prophet turned to another man and said, 'Hit me.' So he struck the prophet and wounded him." He knew that if he didn't, bro, he would get wiped out. He'd probably get eaten by a lion, right? But yeah, man, I'm just saying, bro, karma's a motherfucker, bro, and that shit's coming. But this girl, bro, she did an interview with I forget what the news, WCCO, CBS Minnesota. Let's watch Foxy Knoxy herself tell her story. You guys want to do that? Let me know if you want to hear Foxy Knoxy tell her fucking story, bro. That's what we're gonna do then, because no one's speaking up. Hold on. You guys hear that? Good? You guys can hear that? All right. What's up, Lynn? How are you, Lynn?
To wrap my mind around was the idea that I might not ever get to be a mom. So I'm feeling.
So Amanda, how have you been? How is life for you these days?
Oh man, I'm a young mom, so you can imagine not a lot of sleep, a lot of cuddles, and I'm feeling really fortunate because, you know, back when I was on trial and in prison and everything, that was one of the hardest things to wrap my mind around was the idea that I might not ever get to be a mom. So I'm feeling really lucky and fortunate.
Yeah, you're very much a mom now of two little ones. You have a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a husband.
Yes, who are out on the roof playing right now.
On the CCO roof playing. Talk about, that new chapter of your life and really leaning into family.
Yep, leaning into family. Also working a lot. My husband and I have our podcast, Labyrinths, where we do a lot of advocacy work and also interviewing people about.
Bro, she's got her own podcast, bro. I got to check that out. The Labyrinth. I'm going to go check that out. Matter of fact, I have a clip from that podcast, The Labyrinth. I didn't know that was her own podcast. Okay.
Times they felt really lost, because I feel like that's something that resonates with anyone. I think one of the big issues in wrongful convictions is people think, oh my God, like it's so extreme. I can't relate to it. I can't tell you the number of times people have said to me like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I can't even imagine. And while I get that sentiment and it's meant well, I want to say, well, actually, I think you probably can imagine it because everyone has a worst day when something really overwhelming that was out of their control just came in and took over their life, and now they have to adapt. And that is the wrongful conviction experience, except it's the state that does that to you, and you don't know how long it's going to take to, or if it will at all resolve. So,
and we'll get into that. But before we lose sight of your day to day, I am curious. People are curious about your day to day, where you live, what you do outside of work and family. I mean, you have a normal life, would you say?
I don't know what a normal life is anymore. I kind of stepped away from trying to aspire to have a normal life after I became a public figure. Man,
I'm not sure this lady's ever gonna have a normal life, bro. She's a fucking celebrity for this shit.
At the same time, you know, I'm living on my little island in the Pacific Northwest. I have friends. We go to the grocery store. You know, my daughter goes to a forced preschool. So like the day-to-day rhythms are very much honestly just focused on my kids and getting them through the day and getting the work done that I need to do during the day. So it's really, I think maybe I do somehow have a normal life all of a sudden.
But then at the same time, like you said, you are a public figure. And I wanted to ask you about that. You know, you have in-laws now, new neighbors that you'll meet, or parents of your kids' friends.
Yeah.
And all of those people probably know something about you or have a preconceived idea of who you are, or at least some details they've heard along the way. What is it like living that way?
It is, I have had to adapt to the fact that the worst experience of my life is probably the first thing people ever know about me. And the difficulty of that doesn't go away. It is a little bittersweet though, because again,
if you guys want to say anything about this, go ahead, drop it in the chat. I'm kind of just listening because I've never heard this myself. I just came upon this when I was researching shit, basically right before I started, and it was shorter than the last one. So I'm gonna throw this one on instead because the other one was like an hour and some change. So I wanted to get this one. I figured she said the same shit in a shorter period of time. So I'm just gonna listen. If you guys want to throw something in the chat, I'll be willing to talk about it, whatever.
And we all have our worst experiences, and typically we get to choose when and with whom we get to share them. And that is an immense privilege. On the other hand, though, the worst experiences of our lives can distance us from other people. And weirdly, because the worst experience of my life left me so exposed, I find that I can cross distances really quickly with people because it's just all there. It's there. And we can talk about it, we can not talk about it. I've grown to feel more comfortable talking about it because I feel like with time, it's been 17 years since I was arrested. I've wrapped my mind not just around what happened, but what it means, and what it means for me personally, what it means for the broader society. And so I feel more comfortable talking about it. Whereas when I first came home, I was living in this idea during prison that I would get to go back to the life that I was living before Italy. And I was very quickly disabused of this idea that I could go back to being an anonymous creative writing student. And instead I was the girl accused of murder. And I was very lonely for a really long time because it made me feel like there was this huge distance between me and the rest of humanity. And what changed that was actually going to my first ever Innocence Network event where I met other wrongly convicted people. And I finally grasped like, oh my God, this isn't just a personal tragedy for me. It is a societal tragedy for so many people. And the ripple effects of these tragedies are far-reaching.
Honestly, whoever killed the girl for real, and I could never tell you because in something like that, you know, whatever you think might have really happened, I think like it could be the furthest thing from what you actually think, despite what it looks like. But she was sleeping with that girl who was also fucking this dude behind her back, and she was jealous of that situation. So I mean, there is motive there. I just don't know. Who am I to say what happened? I wasn't there, so it's like you never know. Really don't.
Far more than we really acknowledge.
And we'll talk about the work happening locally and the reason you're here tonight. You do public speaking engagements. I know tonight your keynote theme is about resilience, and you've had to have that obviously throughout the situations you've been in, but especially lately with the reconviction, the slander case. And I wonder how that felt to when you've moved on from something and distanced yourself from it and you're living in Washington with your husband and kids to get pulled back into this chapter of your life. How have you dealt with that?
I think that what I would say is I'm never far from this tragedy and this experience. Again, because it was so public, so it became so prominent in my life. I couldn't go around, like I couldn't interact with the world without the world having that sort of lens through which to view me and interact with me. So I've always had that since I came home. And I think instead what I've learned is that instead of feeling like I have to run away from the worst experience of my life, I can look at it directly in the face. And first of all, it becomes a little less scary when you finally look at something directly in the face, but also you find ways of turning it around and making it feel like it's not a burden, but an opportunity. And this is something I talk about a lot when it comes to resilience. I recently did a whole series of like meditations for the Waking Up app, actually, about this topic in relation to my own experience, where we can either run away from what is happening to us emotionally, psychologically, intellectually, because it's scary and we don't know what to do and we're overwhelmed and we are powerless in many ways. And that's a choice, but I think it's ultimately a disempowering choice because you're basically grieving the life that you should have been living instead of living the life you are living. And so what I'm looking at every day when I wake up, and I've been doing this ever since prison, is waking up and asking myself, what is the best thing that I can do today with what it is? It's not crying about what it should be. It's looking it in the face, acknowledging what it is and saying, what is the best thing that I can do? And that's something that I feel really proud of because I can't change the world every day, but I can do something humble that matters to somebody else. And, you know, in prison, it might've been writing a letter to my mom. Today, it's showing up for the Great North Innocence Project, telling my story and hopefully getting people inspired to support their work.
Mm-hmm. And so you feel like, yeah, you have learned that lesson and you've sort of evolved past living in the past, that you've been able to move on.
I've evolved past living as if the past is this burden or this scary thing that I need to run away from. It just is what it is.
Okay, let's talk about your work. So, best-selling author, you're a speaker, you consider yourself an advocate, and the podcast too. How did you land on the name Labyrinths?
Well, my husband and I are both huge fans of Borges, so his short story collection, but also the idea of being lost in this big space that you don't know how to get out of. Like, how do you find your way again? Do you get out? Do you ever get out? Are you just walking into a new labyrinth every day with blind corners and minotaurs chasing you? Like, that idea that we all are running away from something, it was really interesting to me, and I wanted to embrace that idea. And then, of course, because of who I am and because of the work that I do and the advocacy that I do, we end up talking a lot about the criminal justice system. I did a whole big series called Blood Money about the ethics of true crime journalism. Right now, we're working on a whole series about false confessions. And we're also asking like really interesting questions that I don't hear a lot, even in the wrongful conviction community, about when. So there are a lot of reasons why people get wrongly convicted, right? And people can look these up. There's bad forensics, there's incentivized witness testimony, there's false confessions when people are coerced by police into implicating themselves. One thing that I'm really interested in is the question of how these interview techniques that police employ to get people to self-incriminate might also be employed to get witnesses to incriminate others. And I think that taking a really, really hard, honest look about what happens behind closed doors in a police station or even out in the open, but between police officers and civilians, is going to crack the nut in a lot of ways of this like disquiet we feel about the criminal justice system.
Yeah, since being wrongfully convicted yourself, and that was obviously in a different country, now you've come back to learn more about what happens in this country.
Oh, yes.
What have you learned about wrongful convictions in America?
Well, first of all, they typically do not resolve themselves in 4 or 8 years like mine did. Typically, a person who is wrongly convicted here in the United States spends at least 14 years in prison, if not more. Typically, they do not look like someone like me. Anyone can be wrongly convicted, anyone can be wrongly accused, but typically you're going to see men and men of minorities, men who have mental illness. These are people who are being targeted and who find themselves in positions of not being able to defend themselves properly. That's where you see an inadequate defense counsel. That's where you see incentivized eyewitness testimony. So it's really troubling how people like me who grew up in the suburbs with a middle-class family, I never thought that I had to think about the criminal justice system. It was not something that was on my radar at all. And then suddenly it came crashing down on me. And the first time I went to an innocence event, I walked into a room full of hundreds of people who are mostly men of color who had been through the exact same experience as me. And I had no idea that this family that I belonged to even existed. And so one of the things that I think about today is, what is my role in that community? How can I be a bridge between that community and the kinds of communities that I grew up in that never had to think about this? How can you be that bridge? Well, one is by telling my story so that people understand how it happens, how easily it can happen, how this like slippery slide of like public pressure and moral outrage can lead to the complete dehumanization of a person who's been accused of the crime, even if there's a complete lack of evidence. And then talking about what are these causes, what are the incentives, what is happening in the police office, how are people being trained, how are they not being.
Real quick, yo, she's on iHeartRadio and has mad follow. I'm gonna play a little clip from her shit right after this, but let's listen to this. It's actually kind of interesting. You think she's a really good liar, huh? I don't know.
Trained. And then again, also the consequences, not just to the person who finds themselves at ground zero, but to the families and to the communities that have suffered these injustices again and again and again, and how that leads to relationships between citizens and the institutions that are supposed to be there to support and protect us that are frayed and broken.
Just at the event you're going to tonight, like you'll see Marvin Haynes, who was recently exonerated here in Minnesota. We just had another case this week where our new conviction review unit suggested that another person in prison is innocent. And so we've had a lot of movement in this space in Minnesota. Do you feel like, in general, when you meet people, that they have faith in our criminal justice system, or do you think that that narrative is changing a bit?
Depends on who you're talking to. I think what's happening today is we have more access. There's a little bit more transparency. Just even with the digital age, we are having the ability to see things that are happening that we weren't able to see before. And I think that's leading people to ask questions. And that's one of the reasons why true crime journalism and even entertainment is not necessarily.
Yeah, fuck this bitch. Let's go watch something from her thing real quick, right? This is her podcast. I think it's.
Please consider becoming a patron. For as little as $5 a month, you can listen to Labyrinth's.
I'm not sure. I think this is
teacher very.
Okay, so this is all. I think this is all.
Labyrinths is brought to you by Knox.
So she's got a. I'm not gonna listen to that. Yeah, I'm not gonna listen to that. So she does her own thing with just a vocal. So she just does vocal, and it's on iHeartRadio and all this shit. But she sucks, right, at life. I mean, I guess she doesn't. I mean, I guess anybody who could take a murder beef and chop that shit up and make $1 million out of it might not suck at life. Maybe they're great at life. Maybe I suck at life. I can't do shit. Nah, I'm just playing. But, you know, with God, you can do anything. Word. For real, you can do anything with God. Hey, Lynn, by the way, I read that thing on Facebook, and that shit was fire. So, I don't know. I guess everybody thinks that she's a fraud. She could talk and shit, you know? Whatever. I mean, yeah, it's probably the truth. Anybody who's put in a situation like that has it, and she comes home to a lot of skepticism, criticism. She probably wants to make the whole world believe she's this innocent little thing, never did nothing wrong in her life, because if not, then she's gonna be fucked. Her face is all over America. Everybody knows Foxy Knoxy. So I guess she has a good reason to want to lie if she does lie, you know? Yeah, absolutely, bro. I think that she has a reason, like I said, she has a great reason to want to make herself seem like this fucking innocent little thing, because any type of like, cause over there they were saying like, oh, she's this freaky bitch that likes to have threesomes, and you know, she's in a sex ring. Like, they said all kinds of crazy shit. You remember, if you were following it at all, even if you weren't following it, it was everywhere. So it was like, yeah, she has a reason to want to act like that. So she's, you know, and honestly, I think it kind of does the opposite for most people. It's like, oh, they see a preschool teacher, they're like, ooh, you know, bunch of dudes trying to hit the preschool teacher, like. But like, I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I can't call it with her, bro, because like I wasn't there. I don't know. She could be totally innocent. Who the fuck knows? I think that it's just the anniversary of her case. Her case was crazy. It was, you know, well known, widespread public information. It was freaky. She's hot. All the makings for a fucking Hollywood fucking, you know, production. I mean, I just think that she's smooth. However you put it, she's smooth, bro. She's a smooth mover, bro. She's got everybody wrapped around her finger. She's got the prosecutor as her little friend now, you know, so. Yeah, the kid's father, I guess there's information about him. Let me look real quick, because I think there was a lot of stuff that they were saying. they basically post about her every single day. It's like, Amanda Knox reveals daughter's asking questions. Amanda Knox husband, peculiar bedroom habit horrifies. Whoa, what's that? Hold on. Amanda Knox, hold on, dude. What the fuck? Let's. All right. Amanda Knox's husband's peculiar bedroom habit horrifies the internet. You've been doing it wrong. Amanda Knox has found herself at the center of a social media storm, but not for a reason you may expect, right? The U.S. woman who was acquitted in the murder of former roommate Meredith Kercher by Italian Supreme Court in 2015 has amassed a large social media following in the years since regaining her freedom, where she often discusses her opinions on law reforms and the wrongfully convicted. But the mom of one who is currently expecting her second child with husband Christopher Robinson, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Her fucking husband's name's Christopher Robinson. Isn't that the dude or the guy from Winnie the Pooh? It is. It's the fucking dude's name from Winnie the Pooh, isn't it? Christopher Robinson? What the fuck? All right, anyways, recently opened up about the couple's sleeping arrangements, and it's fair to say people were gobsmacked. They were gobsmacked, guys. Gobsmacked. You've been doing it wrong. End quote. You've been doing it wrong. The correct way to sleep with your partner is to swap sides of the bed each night, she wrote on Twitter. Better for your body, especially if you spoon, as you'll be laying on the opposite shoulders each night, and better for your mattress to vary the indent pattern. Okay, well, that's not what I expected. Thought it was going to be some other shit. Typically, those who have to share a bed tend to have preferred side with your personal preference coming down to personality type, how our brains are wired, psychologist state. Yeah, fuck that. I thought that was going to be something better. But anyways, yeah. There's been other shit. Hold on, let me look for her kid's father. Amanda Knox ex-boo Rafael Salicito reunites to go on. Man, next 4 years can't be as bad as my study. You have no shame. Amanda Knox murder jokes. Amanda Knox's murder jokes. You guys want to hear Amanda Knox's murder jokes? Yeah, let me know, because in the chat, let me know. Do you want to hear Amanda Knox's murder jokes? I will go read them. Like, what do you guys want to hear about this bitch? Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, bro. Oh, that's weird. I'm gonna have to can I email YouTube about that, Jamie Silva? Because that's not right. You should get what you pay for, especially if it's a membership to my channel. If they're not doing the right thing, then I'm gonna say something about it. So I'm gonna leave my email in the chat real quick, and then you could send me those receipts, because that's fucking bullshit. All right, that's my email. But I want to read Amanda Knox's murder jokes anyways. Fuck that. You have no shame. Amanda Knox murder joke fires up social media. Wow, I don't know. This picture actually looks a little fucking sadistic, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. I like it. She looks hot in that picture though. No bullshit. She really does. She looks sexy right there. I'm not gonna lie. But during the murder mystery party with friends, she had a murder mystery party with her friends. All right. This is getting a little better, I guess, right? Hold on. A murder mystery party. All right. So Amanda Knox sarcastically commented on her infamous 2007 Meredith Kercher murder trial, revealing that she once again was falsely portrayed as a killer. In the game, the 31-year-old Washington State native said she was assigned the role of Countess of Lovelace, a Victorian-era woman accused of poisoning and fatally stabbing the owner of an art gallery. Knox couldn't help but draw parallels to the fictitious story in her own reality. Victorian London, a priceless painting goes missing and the owner is found both poisoned and stabbed. And would you believe it? I, the Countess of Lovelace, am accused, Knox explained on an Instagram post Sunday. Also acquitted all in 4 hours, better than 4 years, she quipped, sharing 2 distressed antique photographs from the event. The pictures, Knox is stone-faced and sitting on the couch with her arms politely crossed on her lap. Her friends, also expressionless, are next to her. Hold on. While some applauded Knox's priceless creative joke, others slammed it as distasteful. You have no shame, one wrote on Instagram. Anything for attention. Murder, your favorite subject. Okay. One woman, on the other hand, exclaimed she was living for this caption, and another praised the shade and voiced her love for Knox. Knox's conviction in the death of her British roommate while living in Italy was overturned. All right. Let's see what this Instagram post says. Hold on. All right, this is the picture. Victorian London, a priceless painting goes missing and the owner is found both poisoned and stabbed. And would you believe it? I, the Countess of Lovelace, am accused. Also acquitted all in 4 hours, better than 4 years. Well, not that bad, right? I guess. Yeah, you know, Lynn, there's a lot of people I like that. But, you know, teach his own, I guess. You know what I mean? This is the thing I think, right? Is that she's under the microscope. You got people like me doing little videos, lives and shit. Like, everybody's looking at her. So anything she says or does is going to be under the microscope. We make mistakes all the time. We talk shit about people all the time, and no one ever notices because we're nobody. But this woman does it. She makes a mistake, says the wrong thing. It's going to be all over the place. Now, mind you, making a joke about your murder case on Instagram, being as famous as she is probably not the smartest thing, and I wouldn't do it. But, you know, she is under a microscope. She's going to make a lot of mistakes. She's probably a sociopath. Yo, man, you're funny. Oh, man. Yeah, she is putting it out there for everyone. Like I said, I wouldn't do it, but she did it. And I mean, but even if she didn't do it on there, it would still be all over the fucking place. Like, people would be on her back, no matter what. But whatever. Yeah. I wonder, you know what I wonder if, because I remember years ago, weren't they trying to give her a Playboy thing? Let me look that up real quick. I'm going to look up and see if they were, because I think they were trying to give her a Playboy deal. Either that or like another porno type thing. Oh, Amanda Knox committed the sin of openly enjoying her sexuality. And they got her listed as a public figure. And I mean, obviously she is. I mean, we know that, but like, she has a book deal. I mean, we knew that though. She wrote the book. Free, I think it's called, by Pearl Jam Community published it. Oh, Amanda Knox offered porn job, nudity optional. Okay. Amanda Knox offered a porn job. All right, let me take this off the screen real quick. Let's look that up. I'm going to look it up real quick. Hold on. I'm going to add the tab. Yup, this is it. All right. Hold on, let me check your comment real quick. Thank you, bro. I'm trying, bro. I want to do big things, bro. That's my intention, is to make a splash. I want to be an ex-convict. I want to be that person that nobody expected to do anything with his life and come out here and blow things to pieces. I don't want to be a big prison content creator. I want to be a giant content creator, period. Why do I have to be stuck in a genre? Why do I have to be stuck into a little category? I want to do big things. I don't give a fuck about prison content. I give a fuck about making a splash, making an indent, making a change, changing the world. However you want to put it, I want to make things different for people like myself, give inspiration to people like myself. So yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay, tell Kevin I said what's up, bro. Oh, I haven't talked to him in a minute. I would love to get Kevin up here on my platform, bro, because he's a good ass dude, and he's been through the fire like me. So tell him I want to get him up here to send me an email. I put my email in the chat. So, all right, let me read this real quick. Oh, did it change? Adult entertainment company asks Amanda Knox to star in porn movie. Ha ha ha. I honestly wouldn't mind watching that just because, I don't know. I don't watch porn anymore. I swear. I don't. Honestly, I don't. I don't watch porn anymore. I don't. The reason really is because I read some stuff about it, and I read a lot that they put on like Pornhub. You won't know which is which, but a lot of those girls are not consensually on there, and I don't agree with that. So if I don't know the girl is with it or not, I'm not watching something where I might be watching a rape occur. I don't watch it no more because I don't know, and I don't want to be part of that. You know what I mean? They're exploiting women. So yeah, for something like this though, where it's publicly offered, it's a porn deal, things like that. I mean, what's the problem, bro? The people make a choice to do this stuff. Yeah, it's committing a sin. It is. And I'm not with that either. I want to have a pure soul. I want to be a pure person, because real pure people, they succeed in life. And yeah, there's those dirty motherfuckers that always rise to the top. But think about the ends they all have. They always have a bad ending. I'd rather rise for the right reasons, right? So, fresh off a legal setback that again finds her responsible for the 2007 murder of British student Meredith Kircher, Amanda Knox has been offered a new job as a porn actress. An adult entertainment company with a knack for gimmicky publicity stunts has offered Foxy Knoxy $20,000 to star in a porn film. Adult film distributor, sorry, I lost my place. Adult film distributor Monarchy Distribution says it's offering Knox the unique opportunity to pay her mounting legal bills and fund her education by getting naked on film. As you may have read and were most likely well aware of, the general consensus is you are absolutely smoking hot. This is their pitch to her. Like, hey, as you might have read, like, you're absolutely smoking hot. Like, I could imagine some stupid like Hollywood porn producer like, hey, look it, like, kid, look it, this is what it is, right? As you may know, you're absolutely smoking hot, babe. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? All right. Company founder Michael Kulik writes in an email to Knox forwarded to the Daily Dot. Since you came back into the headlines, our loyal fan base has been emailing us nonstop asking about you. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. All right. Maybe they have. I don't know. Why would they be emailing him? Right? Who the fuck knows? Kulik's email gave Knox the assurance that she would have final say over all terms of production. Kulik says Knox will get to choose which sex act she performs on film and which talent she wants to work with. I love how they put these terms for the porn industry. It's great. This is a great opportunity for you to make some money to put towards finishing your education and also future legal costs to help with this unfortunate retrial, Kulik continues. What about the opportunity of selling her book deal, which is what she's doing right now? a podcast, which is on iHeartRadio, and fucking every other deal that comes her way. Why is this $20,000 anything to like speak about? I don't get it. She's famous. $20,000 is nothing. She probably got 20 grand for the book signing. She's gonna get income from that book every month. I don't even know how that works. She's gonna get a lot of money from that book. She's getting money from her podcast. She's getting money from everything. Why was that 20 grand? Like, oh yeah, we'll give you 20 grand to get plowed on camera. Like, what about 100 grand? What about 200 grand? Like 20 grand? I don't know. To me, that seems a little cheap, right? To be doing all that. But this is far from the first time Cook's company has tried to cash in on attractive women who make headlines. This isn't the first time Knox has been offered a job in the porn industry. In 2011, after winning the appeal of her initial guilty verdict in the Kircher murder case, Vivid Entertainment, this is the one I remember, is Vivid Entertainment, which is like, it's going to be a dirty one, right? They probably would have paid her a lot more, though, which, like Monarch's Distribution, has a long history of headline-inspired publicity stunts, offered Knox a job. We would like to get her the opportunity to be our Vivid.com spokesperson and represent the studio at the trade and retail events. Now, they make porn look really bad, don't they? Like, okay, this woman who's like accused of murder, they don't know nothing about her, just that she was accused of murder. Like, we want her to be our spokesperson. Why? What makes her the spokesperson of your company? I guess that's just the person who just reads whatever comes their way, but I guess I don't know. This would involve no nudity or sex. Of course, we would welcome talking to her if she wants to pursue this direction. Of course they would. But the decision is totally hers to express. The company said in its publicized offer to Knox. Knox, however, did not respond to the gimmick. All right, well, whatever. Weinstein. Yeah, probably was Weinstein, dude, huh? Probably was, bro. Well, I gotta go, fellas. It's been nice. Small night, but a good night. Anyways, had some fun, you know. Hope everybody has a great time in the chat. And in fact, oh shit, the rock and the blue and silver boil hoodie. I never seen that before. Maybe send me one. I'll wear it for the show. But that's right, bro. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. I'll email you his number. Thank you. In fact, I'll be in touch. Tell him. Mom, I'm sorry, Mom. You too, Lynn. You have a great night, Lynn. It is a sin, Mom. I know it's a sin. I know it's a sin, Mom. I know. Not saying like, yeah, I get it. Dirty business it is, right? I guess I talked to Jerry recently, one of my friends, his wife, and I don't know if he wants to come on yet, but he said he might come on for like 15 minutes or something and speak about his situation. And I don't want to put him out there yet exactly who he is, but if you know, you know. Kevin, Plud, salute. Everybody in the chat, salute Lynn, Bill Green, Low Red Eyes. Lynn, I love you. You're the best. Jamie Sylvia, I'm going to look into that for real. Send me those documents in my email so I can look into that for you. My baby girl who's watching, I know you're watching. Love you. And everybody else. Anybody else who didn't talk in the chat and you're watching, shout out. Everybody hit the like button, subscribe, share my videos, share my content. Help me out in some type of way, please. This got to survive. We got to do things with this podcast, bro. Make it big. If you have a situation, anybody you know who would like to get up on my podcast and talk about their life, have a unique story. I don't want the average run-of-the-mill stories. I know everybody in prison thinks they have a really unique story, but and maybe they do. They really do. I think anybody who's been in prison, their story's important. I just want it to be something. You've been through the fire. You're in a gang. You have something to your story that's very, very unique. I want to hear it. Let's get you up here, get you in the studio, tell your story, let the world know our pain. and suffering has not been for nothing. Salute to everybody out there. Happy holidays. Love you. I will see you tomorrow. W number. Ow.